Welcome to my podcast, Therese Makes History, the Dairy Lane Project. My primary sponsor for Season 2 is Ian Zanstra, a very experienced dairyman on the other side of the river from Piree. Season 2 would not be happening without Ian's support. I'm very grateful he stepped up. Thank you, Ian. Season 2. Episode 8 today is coming to you. My name is Therese Sweeney, and I've been engaging residents who dairy farmed significant pioneering families during the 20th century. Today I'm at Mullers Lane Jaspers Brush. Mullers Lane is named after the Muller family. They migrated to the Schollhaven from Prussia, Germany, in 1855, settling in the back forest Coolangatta areas. That is, Jacob and his wife Anna Hepp. They had 8 children, the second born being John Joseph in 1851, and so made the journey with his family. He was 4 years old. John Joseph Muller and Mary Host married in 1886 at Nowra Catholic Church. It is believed Mullers Lane is named because of John's extensive generosity and contribution to community life in the Berry region throughout his lifetime. Their 5th child, Albert Norman, was born at Coolangatta. He married Bridget Morrissey at Nowra in 1912. Their son, Norman Joseph, settled on farmland of 152 acres in the area now known as Mullers Lane Jaspers Brush. He lived till 3 months short of 94 years of age. Norman was born in 1918 and began dairy farming on this land in approximately 1939. He married Martha Walden. They had 5 children: Mary, Peter, John, Keith, and Elizabeth. Peter Muller, the eldest son, stayed to farm the land, buying it from his father after marrying Rosemary Smith in 1968. His father Norman then moved to a house on Albany Street, Bury. They had 50 acres between the highway and the railway line and 90 acres up to Broughton Creek. In Norman's time, they started with Ayrshires and Jerseys for cream, then moved to Friesians when Peter took over farming. They had a silo and a walk-through dairy. They grew crops, corn and sacchaline. They delivered cream, then milk, to the Berry Cooperative, up until bulk tankers collected it in the late 60s. Peter sold the farm in 1982 as it was not economically viable to continue. Peter and Rose had 2 children, Desmond and Jennifer. Mullers Lane, like most lanes, is approved by council, usually because the family requests it to, based on the case they put forward. You may recall Patrick Muller's recording in Season 1 in Lamonds Lane, and their house Pomona, which they lived in for 6 generations. Patrick Muller and Peter Muller are first cousins, and this lane was no doubt named after the Mullers because of their overall contribution to economy and society. From plans I read in the introductory episode to Jaspers Brush, highlighting the original landholders and the date they secured acreage, one of which in Jaspers Brush in the Muller Lane region includes Mark Morton, MLC, who purchased 32 acres in 1915. He was a prominent politician and the son of Henry Morton, and they were both significant citizens at the time. His name comes up quite a bit for various events held at the Jaspers Brush School of Arts, and also with the Methodist Church. Another landowner was William Johnson, who had 2 lots, lot number 237, 96 acres, and lot number 236, 82 acres, that he purchased in 1914. This brings me to today's recording. I'm going to be speaking with Pam Coles, former name Hitchcock. Now, the Hitchcock family migrated to the Shoalhaven in 1850 from Devon, England. The patriarch Andrew Hitchcock was born in 1806. He was a farmer and with his wife Anne Muller settled in Borea, where he died in 1888 and his wife passed a decade later. Now, together they had 6 children. Their son John was 12 when they migrated here, and in 1864 he married Maria Ison at Saltwater Creek. He died in Bomaderry in 1929. They had 9 children. Now, the third eldest was Henry, born in Budjong in 1868, and he began leasing land in the Mullers Lane area in the early 20th century. He married Annabella Emery at the Uniting Church in Bury in 1897. In my hands, I hold the original land title purchased by Henry, and it's dated 1912. I'm going to read it to you. Henry Hitchcock of Jaspers Brush, new, berry farmer. Inducement of transfer from Alexander Hay and David William Roxburgh, number 686838, is now the proprietor of that piece of land situated in the municipality of Bury, parish of Coolangatta, county of Camden. 151 acres, lot 235, plan number 6131, and part of 1,000 acres, which is portion 12 of parish. Dated the 15th of November 1912, the land originally granted to Alexander Berry by Crown Grant on the 9th of October 1838. The land title left the family hands in November 1969. Now, Henry and Annabel had 2 children, Annie, born in 1897, and a son, Harvey John, born 1899. The children grew up on the farm in Jaspers Brush. Harvey married Sylvia Jean Griffiths in the Methodist Church, Bury, in 1932. Sylvia was born in 1909 at Central Tilba, New South Wales. They had 2 girls, Pamela Jean, born in 1936, and Norma Jean, born in 1939. Now, Pamela married Arthur Barry Coles in 1956. She has 4 sons, David, born in 1958, Anthony, born in 1960, Scott, born in 1962, and Grant, born in 1963. And today it gives me great pleasure to engage Pamela to discuss life in Mullers Lane. She also references some photos during our discussion. Well, she's getting old, and I sort of showed her some photos, and I think that helped. So what I'm going to do is those photos she references will be available when I put the podcast up on my website. You can flick through. I'll leave it at that. I hope you enjoy the recording. You'll hear more of me during it. Pam, what year were you born, and where were you born?
I was born at 1936, and then when Mum and Dad's first child died at birth. She was strangled, I believe, with a cord round her throat.
Yes.
Apparently they didn't realise in time to save her.
The umbilical cord. Mm. So she wanted to be sure, your mother, and so you went to hospital, is that correct?
Yes.
So what are your parents' full names?
Harvey John Hitchcock, and Mum's was Sylvia Jean Griffiths.
Do you know your grandparents?
Yes. Dad's father was Henry, my grandmother, Annabella, Mary Jane, Eleanor, Charlotte, Emery.
Emery. Where did you go after Gordon? Were your parents living down here?
Yes, they're on the farm at Jaspers Brush. I've got no idea if we had an address. Post office box for mail.
Post office 124?
Bury.
Bury? Can you remember the post office box? Where was it?
Where the Thai restaurant is now, that was the post office. And they also had the phone connect up there, but that board is in the museum.
Okay, so the original switchboard. You had a land title here that you're holding. Is this the family's land title of the land?
Yes.
From Henry Hitchcock of Jaspers Brush. What do you know of this land title? So you've got 151 acres.
I think that's the railway, Broughton Creek.
And do you know what year he purchased the land yourself?
They leased it until I think it was 1908.
Was Henry your grandfather or your...
Yes.
So Henry and his...
Annabella, Mary Jane, Eleanor, Charlotte.
That is a long name.
And I never could find out if she was named after anybody, like a favourite aunt or anything like that. Names have never propped up anywhere else, so I don't know how they found all that.
Now, I want to slow it down and I want you to tell me exactly, let's go through each name. So Henry's wife, her full name. And
Annabella, Mary Jane, Eleanor, Charlotte.
do you remember your grandparents?
Yes.
Do you know how many cows they were milking? How did it all
Only
look?
about 50 or something like that. Nothing like they milk now. I mean, they've got to milk more now to make a living. And that kept two families because after my grandparents left there, they went to Rockdale. Half the milk check went to them.
When did they go to Rockdale?
I'm not sure. It was after Mum and Dad were married.
Yes. But he did farm there. He did.
Oh, yes, yes.
Do you remember as a young person, your parents had their own house there, did they?
No, there's only one house, and that was Grandpa's house. No, I would think that they probably went to Rockdale fairly close to when they got married.
How big was the farm?
152 or 3 acres.
What were you doing as a young person?
Well, I went to school at Jaspers Brush, and firstly we walked across our pram and then across Hallsizer, who was next door, and we'd go up their lane with the 3 Hallsizer girls to go to Jaspers Brush School.
Okay, so you're in the first part of Mullers Lane, are you? What we know as Mullers Lane today. The Hitchcocks were there first, apparently, you're telling me.
They were there before Mullers, yes, definitely. I mean, we went there to lease it. Dad was 3, I think, so that would have been about 1902. And the first people I can think of in Mullers Lane, were Skinners, and I can remember them. And George, I think it was, had a milk run in Bury.
What about his wife and kids? Do you know the kids?
No, I can't remember anything of them really.
Now the Skinners, all the local residents could only remember Don Skinner. The patriarch George Thomas Skinner was born in 1879 and he was one of 7 children in Kent, England. He died in Bellawangara in 1943. He married Frances Jane Snelling, known as Sissy, back in England. She was born in 1898 and she died in Bury here in 1950. Now, all their children were born in Kent, England before they migrated. They had 3 boys. Donald Hadley Skinner was the youngest and he was born in 1914. Donald passed in 1984. The oldest brother, George Thomas, was born in 1905 and he passed in Bury in 1974. The middle brother, Kenneth Gilbert, was born in 1908 and he passed away in 1986. I've found some press articles to substantiate the existence of the 3 sons and the father. In 1934 at the Bury Show, Donald Skinner placed first in the draft horse and A. Anderson placed second. Now the Anderson Lane is also in Jaspers Brush. It is actually the last lane going north that falls in the Jaspers Brush category. Kenneth Gilbert worked at Jaspers Brush Milk Depot and took someone to court for slander, and he was paid £10 in January 1935. He later moved to Nowra Milk Co-op in 1938. When Don was a young boy, he'd attend the annual picnic day at Jaspers Brush. He came second in a boys' race. He also held his 21st birthday in 1935, perhaps at the School of Arts. Don Skinner married Vera Barham, who lived up the road, in 1942. His brother George was the best man. His parents, G.T. Skinner, were listed as living at Bellawangara. Do you remember the carrier coming with the milk cans?
No, from our farm we had a truck and we'd take it into the Bury Co-op or Mr Muller would take it the next day. I can't remember their roster, but that's how it came in here to the berry co-op.
Can you think of the families that lived on Mullers Lane when you were there growing up?
Nobody, not on the lane. Not on the lane from the highway to the railway line, no. They're all later, much later.
So you were in the lands, though, weren't you, that they now... around Mullers somehow?
Yes. Mm.
Were there other farms in the lands around that area?
Only the Skinners. Later on, there were 3 blocks taken off our land. One was burnt down at one stage. I don't know because I haven't been there whether it was rebuilt. The roadway to go into our place, it was just on the left. Then along the railway line, I think there are 2 houses built there, but not in our time.
So how long were you on the land for?
Well, I left when I was married, and that was in 56. Mum left after Dad died.
So you've got some photos here. It might be easier. Describe when it might have been taken and relating to where you were at the time or who that is.
That's Dad, and that was taken in Sydney, but I don't know for why.
It was in Hyde Park, it says.
Yes, so it's a studio photo.
Yes. And your father's name again was?
Harvey John.
Harvey John. Mm-hmm. How many cows was Harvey running there?
Oh, I think there's only 30 odd.
Yes.
The most.
Which is typical, a little self-sustained family farm.
2 families.
2 families. Who were the 2 families?
Dad's mother and father when I went to Sydney.
Okay. Do you know how much the cheque was worth? Not much.
No.
What type of cows, and did he show them or?
Oh no, they're just milking cows and
nothing.
Backyard cows.
Yeah, okay.
That's Mum and Dad's wedding. If that's interesting, there's something written on the back of that.
Leaving on our honeymoon in Brighton Le Sands, 1932.
Yeah. No, they were married in the Methodist church down here.
Oh, at Berry?
Dad was 32 and Mum was 23. And they were married in 32, I think that's right.
And do you know anybody else in these photos? There's a best man, and keep your glasses on.
I think his name was Arthur Peck, but I wouldn't be sure on that. And that's Auntie Marie, Mum's sister, Marie.
And the man you don't know?
I think he's Arthur Peck, but I couldn't be positive.
Is Arthur Peck around here? Was he from here?
No, I don't. He might have been then, but he moved up past Wollongong.
Okay. So you have another sibling or
Sister.
That is alive?
Yes.
And what's her name?
Norma June.
And what year was she born?
I was born 36. She was born in 38, I think.
Did you both help on the farm?
Oh, at times we did. I mean, later on, when Dad got sick, I did a lot because Dad wasn't able to get up and help Mum milk, and Mum would get me up.
So you carried the load a bit. How old were you when your dad got sick?
I think I was in high school, so I'd been a teenager. I couldn't be sure. That is Annabella, Mary Jane, Eleanor, Charlotte.
I'm so glad you found a photo of her.
Yes, I didn't have any trouble with that, but I could...
It must have been cruel for her to have to write her name in full at times. She's your grandmother?
Yes.
Was she from the area?
Burrier.
And where's that?
South of Nowra and in a bit. It's one of the first settlements out that way.
Yes, it looked like a few came from there.
Mm.
So Jaspers Brush Primary, we'll just slow it down a bit.
Yeah, that's all right.
Now, I've seen photos of you. What year did you start there? Can you remember?
I'd have probably been about 5.
Yes.
So that would have been, what, I was born 36, that would have been about 41.
Okay, so 41. Can you remember who was in your class?
Raymond Strong, he was one.
What was he like as a kid?
He was all right. There were the whole size of girls, because school was one room. Everybody was in there and the one teacher. 3 hall size of girls. Across the paddock, because I'd walk over to them and walk up their lane.
How do you spell their name, do you know?
HOLZHAUSER. I'm a rotten speller, but some things I do remember.
Where were they living?
Down O'Keefe's Lane. We always had shoes. Took our lunch. If you've been there, there's a driveway up and there's big old beautiful trees. And we used to get all the leaves and that off the trees and we'd make our house. You know what I mean? Just using those as the boundaries. And so we'd have to go down to our house and sit in our kitchen or our dining room to eat our lunch.
That was your imagination.
Yes. Yeah.
Do you ever recall the ferry or the wharf in O'Keefe's Lane in your time?
No. There were no houses then from the railway line up to the highway.
You're talking about just the general line?
Yes.
Until you get to Jaspers Brush?
Yes, there was a station there and the train used to stop.
Do you ever remember getting the train from Jaspers Brush?
No, I don't think we... No, I'm sure we didn't.
Do you ever remember making butter?
Oh, yes, yes.
Why don't you tell me a bit about that and what would happen?
Well, we'd have a glass container like this and you'd put cream in there, so you had to turn, which turned the paddles underneath.
So what are we talking about? We've got a cream separator, have you? Or were you doing it by...
That would be part of the dairy.
Yeah.
You couldn't take too much off it because that lowered the...
Milk fat?
Yes, but we'd just put it in all this thing and turn the handle till it's set, then we put it in something, then we pat it into something, squared, just keep it in the ice chest.
Was it just for family use?
Yes.
Because you had a small dairy herd, it was self-sufficient.
Mm.
You had milk?
Mm-hmm.
You drank the milk?
Yes. Every afternoon after school, my sister and I would go down to the dairy and we always had a mug down there. We'd squirt the hot milk into the mug and drink it. Turns my stomach to think about it.
But it didn't at the time, did it?
No.
So you'd squirt the teat, you get the teat and squirt it in yourself?
Yes, yeah.
Did you have to do your sisters or did she do herself?
She did it herself. As I can remember it.
What's it looking like, the milk factory at Berry?
If you went across the paddock, there was Skinners or Hitchcocks, whatever, Crouchers, that was their name. They came from Wharf Road along the river and buffered into our place. We went right to the river, Broughton Key, and Mullers went from over the railway line. Our boundary was the railway line. Mullers went over it, but they didn't go to the creek.
So you may have got some floods there.
Oh, yes. The water came up to just below the dairy. The house was here, the dairy, then there was a down slope, and that's where the flood would always stop.
So the cows, they had some higher ground, or did they?
Yes, cows are they can sense a flood before anybody else could, and they would always come up. If we knew there was a flood coming, and Dad wasn't too bad at it either, he'd go down and open all the slip rails so they could come right up to that bottom of the bales, or even up into that paddock there.
With the dairy itself?
We had bales.
Oh, bales. You didn't have any walkthroughs?
Oh, listen, that's way ahead of your time.
Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself.
No, they'd just walk into a set of bales.
That's it, yeah.
Yes, and we'd put the cups on the cows and milked them, and then they'd go out a door at their head.
So how many bales?
4, maybe 5.
Did you have to tie their legs or one leg?
One leg. If the cow was a bit jumpy, yes. Some of them you didn't have to. They'd just stand there.
And you'd be on a stool?
Yes, to milk them.
Into a bucket?
Yes.
A cooling system?
Yes. Very old-fashioned to now. We put it into a vat.
Yes.
From the bales into a vat, and then it went from there into the cans.
Yes, it'd cool over something and go into a can.
Yes, it had a bit of a cooler. And then we'd put the cans on the truck and drive them into Berry or over to Mullers, whatever.
So how many cans are you doing twice a day?
Oh, this is a wild guess. Maybe 4, maybe 5.
Did you have them coloured or your name on it? Or?
No, often you had... can't remember that ours did, but often some of them would have a plaque on it and it would have Hitchcock or Muller or Skinner or something like that. I don't think ours did. Or some of them would paint the handle on the lid too.
But not you?
I don't remember it, no.
Well, how do they get fed after they milk? Did you have a
Just
feed?
go into a paddock.
Okay, no feed stalls?
No.
No silo?
No. We'd cut it and make bales out of it and store the bales or make hay sheds, and I've got some photos.
We're not talking tractors, are we? So you've got...
We had a tractor in the end, I can't remember, but not... It was all by hand when I was a kid.
So you're the tallest girl there on the... Are you here, down here? Is that you on top of the stack?
Yeah, that'd be me, and that'd be Norma, and that'd be Mum. And the same up here. That's Dad there, and that's Mum, me and Norma.
These are quite high mounds. That
Yes.
don't know if I've ever seen any that high.
Well, all we did was, with a fork, build them up. You had to make sure it was dry.
Have you got the slide on it or what?
I think the bales probably came later.
Oh, okay. So how are you storing this?
Just like that. I think sometimes Dad would put a tarpaulin over them if it got very blowy or something like that.
Isn't that great? I haven't seen this so much. I've seen it at Camden Park where they're in the middle of the paddock and they're actually might be chaff cutting in the paddock.
No, I know we used to bring it up on the slide and just throw it up to make, yes.
Yeah, like
to
just
make
whoop
this
it
sort of
up.
thing. And they probably use the ladder to do the top bits.
So this is your makeshift silo, really, isn't it?
It is,
It's that open-air silo.
Open air one, yes.
I love that. They are really important. So this is you, is it here,
Yeah, I'm sitting,
for a change?
yes. We were rather dressed for something. Look at the shoes and socks.
You might have been going to church.
Probably a thought, yes.
So what do you call these, haystacks?
Haystacks.
I'm just putting the stuff here that I'm making notes of to take away and scan for you. So here, you dress quite well. Did your mum make your clothes?
She did a lot.
And there's you on a horse.
There's Derby and something, and I cannot think of the other.
So what's in the background here? What's that?
That's part of the house. It had a laundry in it, I can remember one stage, but in the end, I can't really remember it, but Dad built a shed there and he grew orchids.
Hothouse perhaps later. And there's a dog here.
Oh, yes, there'd always be a dog around.
Oh, you don't know that little dog?
No.
You can only see its backside. So this is a draft horse.
Yes.
You're going...
We had two. We were just going for a ride there, so...
But you're going for a ride with no equipment, so
Oh, come off it.
Isn't it great? I mean, how old are you there? 5? 6?
Yes, I would have been. Norm was younger, a couple of years younger.
What church did you go to? Is it the Methodist church?
Yes, was Methodist Uniting now.
In Bury?
Yep.
So you did most of your things in Bury, did you?
Oh, yes.
I wonder how they met, your parents.
In church. Because Mum was 16 when she came to Bury, and they met at church functions. With church books here, both their photos in. And you see, there wasn't much of a entertainment outside churches then.
No.
Then we got a picture theatre, but this is jumping ahead. And Mr.
yeah.
Muller would sometimes bring us in.
So tell me about where your mum was living.
When they came to Bury,
Yeah.
her father was a butcher.
Your grandfather had a butcher shop.
Yes, he had two in Bury.
And where were they located?
One was with the house near it was in Queen Street,
Oh,
where
yeah.
Atkinses lived in the house. Somewhere around the bottom end of IGA,
Yes.
and then they had a shop there, but then they also had a butcher shop up this next block up. There's the hotel on the corner, 2-storey house, and then there's a shop.
There's a couple of shops.
Yes, there was a butcher shop there and they were in there. I've got a photo.
Was he slaughtering them there?
No. I think the slaughter, or it was, I don't know, in that time out along Beach Road. In the main street there was a milk bar which was then owned by Mr. and Mrs. Billis. And we'd go in there every Sunday on the way home from church and get 2 shillings worth of fruit in a bag about this high.
So they had you're saying a fruit shop?
Yeah, a milk bar and fruit, veggies.
I didn't hear the name.
Bellis, Belas.
Did you go to Sunday school then?
Yeah,
All the time?
yeah.
Who was your person that taught?
Marge Thompson would have been one. They lived down at Broughton Village.
Do you remember a horse and cart?
We never had one, but I can remember a little bit further out into Jaspers Brush there were 2 ladies, Culligan I think their names were, always dressed in black. While we were waiting for the bus to go to Nowra High School, they'd come trotting along, carrying this little case which held 2 pound of butter. And they'd go down to the factory, get their butter and walk home.
And they were older to you?
Oh, yes.
Okay,
yes.
older women, bit grand, were they?
No, they weren't the grandy, biggish ladies, but they just had their head down and off they went. And I think their house went when they built the School of Arts there. Original milk factory was on the corner of where Fales lived.
Station Lane.
Station Lane. when we were younger, you could see some ruins of it. I don't know whether they'd be there now.
You go to the dances?
Oh, yes, there's always somebody. And Mrs. O'Keefe used to boil a copper outside for coffee and tea. This is getting off Jaspers Brush Road.
That's all right.
Supper.
Oh, yeah.
You had to take a plate for supper.
At the dance hall. Apparently, you were all taught where the name Jaspers Brush came from. And you said to me, I think it was an Aboriginal name.
That's what I can remember it was.
Any more than that, can you remember?
No.
Why did that come to you as that?
For some reason, I just remembered it as that.
Yeah.
And at school, one afternoon a week, Mr. Williams would take he was a great man for woodwork, and he'd take the boys over to his shed. How he trusted any of those kids with his good equipment, I would not know. And Mrs. Williams would come over to the schoolroom for the girls to teach sewing. We had to do samples and that sort of thing.
What was she like?
A lady.
Needlework.
Yes.
What about your sports days? Did you have picnics?
Yes, there was a pathway from where they walked from the house to the school. We'd play rounders on that. And at the side of the school there were two wooden posts with a bar across it, and we'd do flips over that and all that sort of thing. I mean, sport then wasn't like it is now.
Now, Pam, don't sell yourself too short, because I've done a bit of research on some of these picnic days. Now, I know that young Don Skinner was pretty good in 1935. He came second in his boys' race at Jaspers Brush Picnic Day. And Mrs. Skinner wasn't bad either. Mrs. D. Skinner, Don's wife, she placed second in 1944's Picnic Day in the married women's race because your mother placed first. You may not recall this, but in the 44 picnic race, you won yours, Pam, your 8 to 10-year-old girls' race. And you also won the potato race. And your sister came second in her race, 6 to 8-year-olds, I think it was. But one of the big highlights was Mrs. E. Anderson, in 1935. She won the married women's race that year. There was a daughter of hers came second in the girls' race. But here's the big highlight. She placed first in the broom throwing competition. She threw it 58 feet, 10 inches. So I'm figuring she might have thrown that like a javelin. Not quite sure. She's not around to tell the tale, but that's a bit of the Andersons' history for you.
Before my time even, there had been a tennis court there on the side, but then it was turned into a horse thing because a lot of kids rode their horses to school. Went into a paddock virtually. We used to swim down on the creek, Jaspers Creek. There was a path from the school down the bank to that, and there was just a plank, because every time there was a flood, the plank wet, we had to find it and bring it back. Kids going down O'Keefe's Lane, they'd use that to come to school.
What were you thinking at school? Were you a happy kid?
Yes, I enjoyed school. I mean, we were such a small school, everybody knew everybody, and somebody forgot their lunch, somebody would give it to them, and, all that sort of thing.
Was that your world?
Yes, it was, really. And we did have, I think it was at Christmas time, we'd have a book giving thing, and that was in the School of Arts.
So you'd get a book, would you?
Mm.
Everyone?
Yes, I think so, yeah. We did have, how they have libraries now, we'd have a big box about this, and this. It'd come every so often full of books, and you could keep it for so long, read them all or some of them or whatever, and then it'd go to another school.
So that might have been a Department of Education thing.
I would think so.
Because you probably didn't have a library.
No. Didn't know what they were.
What do you miss about the old ways, the old town?
Oh, yes. It's so much bigger now. In my day, the main street was the main. I think both pubs were there, and there was we used to live where the donut van is. That was our house too.
Did you lease that or did you own that house?
Barry owned it. And then there was...
That's your husband?
Yes.
We haven't got to him yet, but I will.
No, I think we just took it for granted. Where the BP service station is, And on this side, they were vacant blocks. And we'd have a circus would come every year, because that was a big excitement to go to the circus.
And there was a big field there almost, was there land, vacant land?
Yes, they were big blocks. Well, nearly, see, this block's the same. I don't think it'd be any bigger than this. All this side of the biggest, they're part of the L subdivision.
Yes.
And this is, all these here are big blocks, because you go to Hungtingdale.
Yes.
That's where you are, isn't it?
I mean, your lane, yes. So where did you meet your husband, and what's his... You went to high school.
Yes.
What were you thinking? What were you learning at high school? And did you want to keep working, or what was the norm?
I was just going to say, in those days, girls either became nurses or school teachers or worked in a shop. Well, I got a job in the bank, or Dad got the job in the bank for me. I mean, there's no thought of going to university or anything like that.
And what bank were you working in?
Commercial Banking Company of Sydney Limit. And we had to say the whole bang lot every time, because there was a Commercial Bank of Australia. Don't get them mixed up.
Where was that located?
Where it still is now, but it's been rebuilt. It used to be like this was in Nowra, sorry.
In Nowra you
worked? Yes.
Okay.
On the corner of Kinghorn and Junction Street.
Did you meet your husband, and what did he do?
He was a painter, and he came out to paint something at home. That's what happened.
You started dating, did you?
Yes, yeah.
What was his name?
Arthur Barry Coles, but he was called Barry because his father was Arthur. This is getting a bit away. He had heart by surgery twice, and he'd come out of I'd spoken to the surgeon as he came out, and then I went in, and they were talking and calling him Arthur, and because he didn't react to it. And I said to the doctor, I said, look, he doesn't react to our Arthur because he's always been called Barry. He said Barry, and it was like that.
When were you married?
Where?
When and where?
5th of May, 56, down here.
And have you had children?
4 children, 4 boys.
So thinking of your grandfather, did he come out from where? Hitchcock grandfather?
He came from England.
Okay, so he came from England to...
Probably Burrier.
Burrier. Your dad got crook though, didn't he?
Yes, and I can't remember just how old he was. But he had emphysema.
He smoked?
He smoked all his life. Well, in those days it was encouraged.
Did he ever have to go to war or anything?
No, he was on the farm.
Now, you've got a photograph here of...
Yeah, that's all of us. We were all in the band. We were in Berry to start with. Berry didn't want him anymore because they used to have a band contest every year. It was between Kiama, Berry, Milton and Bega. And every year we went to one of those places. Anyhow, they reckoned Dad pushed them too hard at practice because it was a competition. So we left there and we went to Kiama, but I can't remember. No, this is Kiama. He took over them quite a while.
How did you learn your instruments, and how often would you practice?
Berry, we practiced every Monday. It's quite a good band down, but it's not a brass band, it's more a jazz band. They are good. And we just come in by car. Then when we went to Kiama, I think it might have still been Monday, and we'd have to drive up to there.
And what would you be playing for? Would you play at concerts or...?
No, if there was a march, like take Anzac March, we'd do when we were with Kiama, or when we were Berry, we'd do the Berry one, but when we went to Kiama, we did Kiama, Jamberoo, Albion Park, and I think they were all the Sunday before, because so many went to the big march in Sydney. And we went to it twice. First time we started at the Cenotaph, and that was all right. Second time we started it down at the Quay, and we had to march up Macquarie Street playing our instruments and round and round and round and round. And I think we nearly all died the next day.
And locally you'd play, is it just for Anzac Day or?
Oh no, any march that was on. Sometimes we'd play in the street in front of Waddell's, but anything was on we always played.
And what instrument are you playing?
Trombone there.
Your sister?
Cornet.
Yeah.
Mum's playing a flugelhorn and Dad plays a cornet. Dad was playing a cornet.
What did you think of the instrument? Did you handle it well? Did you?
I just like music. And when we were at Berry, because we were much younger, while they were in practising, we'd often sleep in the car, just outside. Or later on, I learnt the kettle drum there too. But we used to go inside once we were old enough to play something.
Where was the practice held?
In the front room of the agricultural hall, corner of the showground, across from the courthouse.
It must have been lovely to play with the family.
Yes, it was. Well, in those days, that's what happened. I've still got one of Dad's batons, and normally I got the other one. I've still got his cornet in there too.
So he would conduct. Where did he learn his music?
By ear, I think.
Most of you would have learnt by ear.
Trombone's harder.
Is that what you're playing?
Yes.
Well, of course it is. You're playing it.
Don't be silly. Well, the cornet or any of those others have got 3 fingers on the top, and you press them in.
You got a bit of movement going.
Yes, but you've got to get that movement spot on or you're out of tune.
Yes.
So you've got to have a pretty good ear.
Pretty good. So you were pretty good.
Oh, no, I wouldn't say that.
No, well, you had a go.
Yes.
Was your father pleased with you? And your mum? Or they scold you?
I wasn't the favourite out of the two. Norma was Mum's favourite. I think Dad was mine. Or everybody told me that, so I don't see. C, F, G, D, I think, and I can't remember have to be one of the bass ones.
And there's a photo here.
That's Grandpa Hitchcock and Grandma, the old bat.
Yep.
That's Auntie Lil,
Yep.
Dad's sister, and that's Dad. That Auntie Lil's holding her daughter, Heather, and Dad's holding me. 37, well, I was only 1.
What do you think of your grandfather?
Oh, he was gorgeous.
Yeah?
Yeah. We found out later, because Auntie Lil lived in Sydney, Grandma and Grandpa had come down in August for tax, and she'd go back and say how good we were to the girls up there. She'd come down here and tell us, oh, Lil's girls wouldn't do that. And, she played the thing against...
She was playing everyone off.
Yes. Annie Lillian Hitchcock married George Strong on April 1929. I don't know anything of his history at all. I know he was a gardener. That's at the original church down here.
The Uniting Church.
Yes.
Now, this is a very good photograph because you've got the slide.
Yeah, that is a slide, and the dog's there, and 1 horse.
So where's this?
Down at the farm. Got a feeling there was a laundry in that shed.
Oh,
But
yeah.
that was the one that went down, and then Dad built it again to keep all his orchids. I can remember a snake in the toilet. He used to have to take the can and empty it somewhere. I went into it one day and I came running back out to Mum. Mum, there's a snake in the toilet. Oh, don't be stupid. But it had a cement floor,
Yes.
so it was square.
Yes.
And just across the corner, a bit of the cement was broken. That's what I could see the snake.
It was hiding under that.
Yeah, he'd slid under there, and there's just, I suppose there's only about that much of him. Now, there was a tiger snake up down, girl got bitten and died, O'Keefe's Lane. And I know when Barry and I were going out, we had to go over the railway line. So Barry would get out, he'd open the gate, and I'd drive up onto the line so we could look to make sure there's no snakes there. He'd drive off, and then he'd go back and shut the gates. He had a phobia about this tiger snake. We used to say with a flood, you could row a boat from the station here right to Bomaderry because you couldn't see any fences. They were big floods. And just out of that lift up down here, we had a trough, and you couldn't see that. They were big floods. We had a shrub just above the house. We used to call them monkey vines, but that wouldn't be their technical name. And we could go up there and swing on them and that sort of thing. Then above that, before the railway line, there were 2, locust fruit.
Yes.
2 beautiful trees up there, and we loved those. There's one on the footpath where those new units are before you get to the church. I have pinched a few, but they don't taste the same.
Did you grow any of your own fruit?
Oh, we had a big orchard, then we had a food one at the house, but down on the paddock, Dad would always buy the climbing ones, like pumpkins, watermelons, rock melons.
Zucchinis.
No, didn't hear of those days. The orchard was on its own, had beautiful apple trees in it, lemon trees. We have oranges, I think. I know we had a great big apple tree and bowed down like this. Beautiful apples on them. We did have some apricots. We had a grapevine at the house, and then at the house you'd get small veggies. Like my money had to walk out the door and let it be there, but then down the paddock it'd be pumpkins and watermelons and rock melons and cucumbers. I'd say self-efficient as far as veggies were concerned.
And did you do any of that, or was it all Dad?
No, Dad didn't. We do all the planting. Beans. We used to go out and to other property and pick beans and peas. One I can remember was up Tyndall's Lane, and that was peas there. And some up Schofield's Lane, but I can't remember who owned the property. But all neighbours did that. They'd just go around and help everybody pick what they had, sort of thing.
Did you make bales?
Because we didn't have any equipment like that.
They were in the paddocks, weren't they?
Yes, yeah.
Haystacks?
Pull out when we needed it, yes.
Yes.
But as I said, they had to be dry when they stacked.
How long did it last? Because you've got to keep it airtight usually.
I know, it was all eaten. I mean, there was
Yes. 2
in one of those photos, wasn't it? 2 together? And
yes.
one down at the house. There used to be at the house 2 big holes in the ground, and I always thought they were dams or wells.
They bury silage.
No, I don't think so. They had no water in them and no grass was growing down the side of them. They're probably that deep. One was right outside the front house fence gate and one on the side.
But you don't know what they were used for?
No, nobody could ever tell me that, so I don't know.
Now those wells were shaped like a cylinder, so they were round on top and went down about 8 feet. Chatting to Terry Farl, he thinks that they may be wells built by convicts that were lined with sandstone. There is one that exists just off Bowlong Road. So that's a possibility. Pam's probably on the money talking about wells. That's all we know at this point. Did you ever grow corn?
Yes.
Did you have a chaff cutter?
Oh, yes, we did. Yes, we did.
Yes.
We used to put the things down and turn this thing and it'd take the corn off the cob.
Oh, yes, so it was manual. You did it manually. Seems like he might have fed as he needed to.
I would say so.
Because the corn wasn't stored anywhere, was it?
There was a big shed just across from the house.
There may be in a loft or something.
No, there wasn't, but I can visual it loose on the floor.
Okay, yes.
And I think we go to the chooks because we had a big chook run down from that too.
Were they safely locked up? Or?
Yes, they were all fenced in, yeah.
What about pigs?
For a little while we did have a few pigs and they were below the orchard in a shed down there.
Yes.
But I don't know what we did with them. We didn't have a lot of them.
Would they have eaten a bit of that rotten fruit too, a bit, I imagine?
Possibly.
It fell on the ground.
Yeah.
How big was the orchard? Acre? 2 acres?
No, it wouldn't have been that big. Oh, an acre, possibly.
Was it just easily accessible or did it?
Oh, yeah. Yes, it was all fenced,
Yeah,
but it
okay.
wasn't fenced and gated, and it was next to the run part of the bales. Scott, our third one, was driving around here the other day. And you know the Presbyterian church is? Go that way, you're over a little bridge and there's a little house there. That was ours, and he didn't know that because he wasn't born then. It's on the market now. It's a 2-bedroom, very small 2nd bedroom for 1.3.
I mean, you must nearly die at the price of land and housing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So how long were you on the farm?
Me?
Yeah.
Till I was married, and I was married at 20. 36 I was.
56.
Mm-hmm.
And you left the farm? And you were working on the farm a bit up to that point?
Yes, because I was at the bank until I got pregnant, then I left.
So you got maternity leave, did you? Or?
No, you just leave, that's it.
Oh, that's what they did then. Where were you living there?
We came and lived with Barry's grandmother in Victoria Street, and we had the closed-in veranda down the side. Whenever it rained or mist came down through it, because it wasn't lined or anything like that. And then we eventually built the little house I was just saying in Victoria Street.
Was your father active in the community? Active in the church?
Yes, he was a choir master, and they went to different groups in the church.
Did you study for the ministry or do you go to church today?
Except for lately when I can't drive.
Does it feel more of a spiritual life now as opposed to a Methodist life?
I
The
think
difference?
Methodist life is stricter. I mean, Dad wouldn't hear of us dancing
Oh, you weren't allowed to dance?
Oh, no.
Okay.
That was his rule. Only the one at Christmas for school. We could go to that one. Oh, no, we did dance, but you danced with fathers or something like that. And I was just trying to remember what the music was. It was just a band, but the word Abernethy's coming to mind, but I wouldn't be sure about that. 3 people played.
Little 3-piece band.
Something like that, yes. Yeah.
Doing barn dances and foxtrots and progressive
barn dance, yes.
But did you progress with people and dance with different men?
Yes, I think we did, yeah.
But it was probably older men.
I was just going to say, yes, it was nearly always your father or
that
Mr.
mob.
Muller or, yes.
Oh, yeah, not young boys.
No, you couldn't get close to anybody.
How old were you then?
Did the intermediate certificate, but I wasn't 15 until the April, because you had to be 15 to leave school then. I went into year 4 to do that. It was a waste of time, of course, because I wasn't going anywhere else.
But you got quite a good job at the bank then.
Yes, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And I've been treasurer at a lot of things. When I was working, I got a job with, or they asked me to go after Barry died, Rain and Horn, or it was Elders Real Estate, then changed into Rain and Horn. I did all their bookwork. And then we had to learn how to do it on a computer.
Did you have to learn?
Yes, I had to learn it. And then we had a rent roll, which started off with about 10 people. A mate of Clive Redburn's, he sent this fella down to give us a rent roll on the computer. I could do it quicker by hand than he could with it. It was a complete staffer. And then we got on to some other fellow, and he was brilliant. Didn't matter what I asked him, he didn't even have to think he'd be like that. He was brilliant. I liked him very much. One chap that came down when we were having trouble with it, I said, what can we do with this? I said, this isn't a help, but I can do it quicker by hand than on a computer. And he said, just tell me when there's a big truck coming and I'll throw it out in the road. I've never forgotten that. That's all getting away from what you're on about.
No, it's
anyway.
nice. So tell me about when your dad got sick. We'll start there. So how was his health? Did he always stay on the farm?
Yes, he did until he died. He was in hospital then. If he was at home, he was in the room and we had a big gas tank there, and he'd always have the gas tank holding it in his nose or something like that.
But you had to help milk because he was sick. You've got a few books here.
Oh, that's the ones I'm telling you. They're books of...
Who's this, sorry? Is this your father?
Yes, yeah, they're all bad, yeah. Of who's buried in the cemetery up here.
Oh, yeah. Tell me about how your husband got sick.
Smoking. It was in August, be 40 years this August.
Yeah. Where were you at in your life when he passed? Where were you living?
We were here.
Yeah.
Yes. Mm.
So who owned this land?
That was a cattle sale yard there, next door, where Sue is. And when she started to build, we had mice and everything because it was all old timber and rock.
So this is in Albert Street where Pam lives. Now that subdivision went through in the early 70s. A.J. Campbell's had the sale yards next door to where Pam lives. There was also actually, just by the way, another sale yard opposite the medical centre in Berry, owned by Hedley Johnson on Prince Albert Road there. By the way, an old drover by the name of Stan Garrity also ended up buying land there, but before it was cleared, he used to keep his old horse in the sale yards owned by Campbell's, next door to Pam.
And then it was after that, the Christmas, there was a Ross Henderson used to work in the real estate down here, and he came to see me. He said, Pam, would you like a few days' work? I said, yes, thank you. Because we had nothing, and I was booked in to do the HSC, which I'd done for a few years.
Supervising the exams. Is that what you were doing?
At that time, yes, and I nearly fell over. I went in for a maths paper. Here's all the kids arriving with a calculator. And I looked at him and he said, yes, that's all right. And he gave, the chap that was organising it then, he gave me more on it. Anyhow, I said, yes, I would. And I went there, and in the next end of June, they asked me to stay on. I was there for about 20 years. Loved it.
Where was the mayor's chambers when you were here? Were you...
Down in part of the showground in Alexander Street, or that
Yeah.
was the council chambers.
You remember that?
Yes.
Yes.
I don't remember it being built, but I can remember it.
You remember visiting there or having to go there? Or?
No, I'm actually still on committee for the show.
You're still on the Berry Show committee?
It'll be about 60 years.
I hope they're giving you an award.
They gave me a thing. I was for 50 years. I had no idea, and no more do I. Only thing I could put it down to, we were living in the donut van. Matty Robertson had a car smash repair, and next to that was Higgins's, and they had the South Coast Register. And Mo Higgins was the secretary of the show, and I used to go and help him in there. And I knew that Grant wasn't at school then, because he'd come up with me, and we used to have members' cards then, he'd thread those through or do something, or he'd take something to play. That's the only recommendation. I went through things and I couldn't see my name in anything as to when I started there, but I had that in mind, so I worked it out from that. But I enjoyed it.
Yeah, tell me, that's a long time, because you would have seen a bit of change in the show.
I agree if it's all computerised too now.
So what were you doing?
Well, in the end, I wrote all the cheques for it, and I had to work out what everybody earned money. Now they hand it out in cash, and they'd come in for their money, and I'd have it all ready.
The winners?
It wasn't worth picking up half the
I
time.
know, $2 for a hack class.
Anything I've worked in, I've really enjoyed.
Yes, well, it would have had all the cakes,
Oh, yes,
all the
yes.
painting, all that
Yes,
stuff.
and I've helped in all of those and the rest of it.
How's the participation? Is it the same or...?
Oh, yes. We thought, when we first had computers in, we thought the oldies aren't going to set this. And we lost some people because of it. The thing that happened with that, they brought it in without a trial because a lot of people, and I'd been one of them years ago, didn't trust them. How can that box in there add up all of this, It's that sort of thing. But we all learned.
Well, it's a big shift.
It's like the rent rolls when I was talking about. I could do it in my head in no time. Get the damn computer on it. Not now. I soon learned how to do it. But
You've done a lot of service for the community. So you've been on the Berry Show for a long time. Is that and you're a member, I've seen you at...
View Club, yes.
Yeah, View's a good club. Tell me about back on the farm. When did your farm cease?
After Dad died, Mum was there and she leased it to, and they later bought it. Longworth, I think their name was, from up the mountain there. And then she went and lived in Sydney with her brother for a while, in Pymble. And she got a job up there, and then she eventually came back to Nowra and bought a house in Station Street, which was called that because I have read this, there was to be a railway station there.
When did you get tractors in? Did you ever get a tractor?
Yes, grandparents bought that, I can remember that. Ferguson. It's only a little Ferguson to what you see now.
What colour was it?
Grey.
So you're born and bred here?
Yep, absolutely. Went to school here, married here, be buried here because I've got my plot up there.
Where's your plot?
Next to Barry's in the original...
What cemetery?
Berry, sorry.
That's all right. Yeah, the newer bit.
It's very nice. Now, I asked somebody the other day, and it's about $1,000 to be put in that.
Yeah.
I paid $93 for mine.
Yes. What about your kids? Are you a grandmother?
And a great-grandmother.
You're a great-grandmother. How many grandchildren?
4 kids, 7.
What about the greats?
2.
Do you feel that adds to your life, or is it...
It's another interest.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you have a love for them?
Yes. A couple I could wring their necks. Because the ones that stay connected, and this annoys me, is the one that's favourite. And she's in Denmark. She's home on the 11th of this month, and she's been away about 5 months or so. But their mother's Danish. So grandma's still alive over there, and there's an auntie there, and they go over there, but then they travel around all over the place. Maya's the elder; she's the firstborn one. It was a sister, I think. She was in Ireland just lately. She's home now, but they've always been travellers. Well, I've done a lot of it too, but they work, come back, get a job, save the money and off they go. Well, that was basically what I did, though I didn't do as much of it when I was working.
So you and your husband travelled?
No, it was after Barry died, because I never worked until after he died.
And how did you travel? Did you go on cruises?
No, never been on. I went to Thailand, not the last trip, the one before, and I did a 8-day on a small boat down the river.
Yeah.
And it was great. I loved it. But I have no wish to go on these great monsters that thousands of people. Been to Ireland and Scotland and England, parts of Europe, Thailand. I went for a trip there. I think that was my first trip. But I've called in there a couple of times on the way from others. Egypt, Turkey. I only go to places that I have an inkling for. I don't go because somebody else has been there, sort of thing. So I'll think about it before I get there. So.
Do you know an Alan Hitchcock?
Yes, he's got petrol something, hasn't he? I've heard of him. I think they lived in... There's one I used to know because I can remember when Grandma came down, we'd always have to go and see them. That was the road, I think it's Maru Road. You go to the bowling club and there's a road going down and it follows where the original railway station was. I don't even know the house, but I don't know. So Dad had 2 daughters.
And it stopped with...
Us.
Yes, with you before you were married. So it must have been interesting when your grandfather was the original land title holder or leased and then secured land. He came out from England. He must have... Was he sponsored by anyone, do you know?
No, I don't know.
Do your kids live nearby?
2 live here. One lives in Crozes Road, and that's Scott, the third one, and the second one lives in Maru, just built a new house. Well, the one in Bobaderi, he's in Adelaide, he's in the Navy, and Scott's just out of Brogers.
That brings us to the end of the recording. Thank you, Pam, and others I approached throughout this production of Pam's story. Sadly, we finish Jaspers Brush for this podcast, Season 2. The next episode will actually be in Berry, but on the lane called Schofield's Lane. So we're nearly hitting the township. Season 2, of course, like Season 1, has 10 episodes. So there's 2 episodes to go. If you want to see Pam's photos in the interim before they're archived later in the year at the library, you can go to my website, theresesweeney.com.au. I'll have them up sometime this week. Thanks for listening. Tell your friends. A lot of people are saying, oh yes, I've listened to Maru, but I haven't had time for Jaspers Brush. Well, make some time and come and listen. Thanks for your support. All the best.